Okay, so I did a thing today. In level one, we actually did past tense. We talked about what we did during our vacation. And this is huge for me, number one, because I normally don't hit on past tense until the end of the year, right? But I've just been thinking about, like, I wanted them to have an opportunity to share what they did during their winter break. And I was battling with, well, should I just keep it in the present tense or should I do past tense? And I'm a big fan of just authentic language. And so I just went for it and I said, okay, we are going to do this in the past tense. So this is what I did. I am going to just sort of outline my steps and what we did. It was super simple, but I just cannot believe how well it went. Okay, so the first thing I did was I selected 10 activities that students might have done during break. So yo dormí, yo leí, yo hablé con, yo pasé tiempo con, yo jugué. So I try to think of everything that like these teens would do. Yo fui a, so I added that to the list. And so I gave them their list. Well, first I shared about what I did on vacation. And I had like my little, I had my video, the same video that I showed my level 4 students. So we went over some of the things that I did. And then after that, I gave them a Quizlet list because I'm a big fan of Quizlet too. I gave them the Quizlet list, had them play around with it a little bit. Afterwards, we did pronunciation activities because I really want them to be able to pronounce the words correctly. And it was just so fun. You know, it was just, you know, having them like imitate me and really emphasize, you know, those accentuated words or accentuated letters. It was, you know, it was fun for them, and we're doing all this stuff virtually and just them having an opportunity to talk, you know. So after that, and I am going to outline all of my steps just so that if you want to do something like this, even with your level 2 students or with your level 1 students, you can. So then our next step was I had them choose, I gave them examples with each of the words. And I told them that the whole goal was to use the word in the past tense to talk about what they did over break, but to add minimum context, right? So minimal context. So for example, yo leí unwind. I just was like, okay, that's the book I read. And I told them if they wanted to get fancy, they could say yo leí el libro unwind. But the goal again was just to kind of talk about in a very low stakes manner what they did over break. So yo dormí 10 horas. Yo hablé con mi madre, right? Like they had to speak with someone, and most of them play games. So I made sure that I added that. So after we did the pronunciation activities, after I gave them examples, and then I had them guess. I had them guess first what it was. And I used like little props, you know, I had a book and I was like, yo leí. So it was kind of with that visual, it was a little bit more accessible to them. After that, I had them go back to Quizlet and they had to choose 2 actions, okay? So 2 things that they did, they had to write them down, and then we did sort of a Google breakout cycle where they talked about, they teamed up with their classmates, and they just talked about 2 things that they did, okay? So those were the activities that led to them doing this Jamboard activity about their winter break. And I had them write those sentences again and then add pictures and make it super creative. And that was it. And so next week I'm going to have them present their Jamboards, and then I'm going to have other students talk about what they did. I'm not 100% sure if I want them to talk about it in a third person yet, because I don't want to confuse them because we are going to be learning the present tense, but at least being able to identify like what that person did, or maybe we'll play some type of game like who did this. So I'm really excited about this. Yay!